Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. You are in the Introduction to Financial Literacy for Elementary Students with Karina Hardina at Andson. We will get started here momentarily. Hopefully everyone's had a wonderful day. And with that being said, my name is Mary Holsclaw. I will be your moderator. If you have any questions, technical issues, please direct them to myself. I will also be watching the chat this afternoon. If you have any pertinent questions, please put them in the chat because we do have a very large group and I'm very happy that we do. But with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to Karina Hardina.
Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to see everybody here, or just names. Thank you for taking the time to join us this afternoon. It's so gorgeous outside. What a waste of an afternoon. No, I'm so glad you're here. I am with Andson, and actually I will share my screen really quick, and we'll flip over. And what I'm going to be talking about is our elementary school financial literacy program that we have available. Here's my information, just in case you would like to have it. I'll have it at the end as well. Again, my name is Karina. I'm the co-operations officer. We are a very small nonprofit. We do two things. Financial literacy, obviously, is my baby. That's what I work with mostly. But we also do free tutoring. So if you go to our andson.org website, that will tell you the whole package of what we offer. But what I'm specifically here to talk about today is openvest.org. I came on in 2018, and we were trying to offer our financial literacy program to teachers to be able to teach this in your classrooms on your own time. And shortly thereafter, of course, Nevada jumped online and said, hey, let's add some more standards, right? Some more fun things for you to teach. And so we were trying to meet those and mesh those with the national standards. Of course, we've got Jumpstart, national standards, and the CEE. And just late last year, Jumpstart and CEE came together and they put their standards all in one, which makes things a little bit easier. And I'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like when I show you our lessons. And also how that goes along with Nevada state standards. So, and I did it again. See, thank you for hanging in there with me. I told her that I was not exactly technology. So just to give you an overview, thank you again for hanging in there with me. When we started this in 2018, we have been in 324 classrooms. Almost 12,000 students that we've served, and over 40% improvement. This is grades 1st through 5th, this elementary. We believe in starting early. Talking about money early is super important. This is in class or virtual because, of course, COVID came along, and that gave us the opportunity to really change how we do things. So you can teach these online or in class. So that's the nice thing. It's really able to do both ways. It meets your state standards, your national standards, and we also throw in your Common Core that you're covering in each lesson. So for me, it's to say, I'm giving you everything that you need. I'm trying to make your job easier because I myself have been a teacher and I know how hard it is. And so I want to just give it all to you so that you don't have to do the work. You access these through the Google Drive. So when you sign up for these or you work through us, we give you the Google Drive and you have everything that you need to do the lessons. If you decide that you want to work through us, there's some perks to that. We give you the training. So I come in, I talk about, okay, how do these work? What's the best way to use these? We can give you printed worksheets as well. So if you want printed material, or you can do the virtual online, which I know a lot of you are now doing since COVID changed that as well. But if you want printed worksheets, we can provide those for you too. We have a lot of funders that like to give us those little freebies. And if you, if you do the free one online, or if you decide to work with us, we do a pre-test and a post-test. So that's going to give you the data that says, I taught these standards, and here's the results from teaching these lessons. Now, the perks of working with us is that we collect all that for you. and then we send it to you and you don't have to do any of the work. So there are two ways that you can do it. The free online version, when you go to openbest.org and you just click on that sign up for free in the right hand corner, you can do it all yourself. If you decide that you want to work with us, and that can be one teacher, that can be multiple teachers, that can be multiple grades, we do all the work for you, and then we send it to you and we compile all the data. So that is where we are at. We have been in school since 2012. And every year we make improvements. We ask you, what can we do to make this better for you? This isn't for us. We're not here to work for ourselves. We're here to do this for you. And ever since we've had the standards come along, we want to make sure that we're meeting the needs for you in the classroom. So these are the schools that we currently have, and this is 1st through 5th grade. And this is just from this year alone. So as you can see, these are the improvements. This is from 1st through 5th. So it's a compile of all of the grades all together. We are seeing some great results. And so I don't know how to say this, but last year we saw our largest improvement was over 47%. Huge. And what we see is that as they go through these, of course, we have a lot of kids coming in and out of the schools, but as we see those, we see that the percentages drop. So we see 4th grade, 5th grade, it starts to drop. And that's because we're repeating the same things over and over again. And so they're getting the questions right. And so we don't necessarily expect them to get it wrong. And so there's that retention. We actually see the retention happening. And that's exciting for me. So just wanted to show that. Now, Toland was our very first school, first year school. They decided we only want to do the grades that have the standards. Totally get it, but this was their first year for this year. So as you can see here, they did grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, and look at grade 30. That's absolutely amazing. So almost 44% increase in financial literacy knowledge at the end of 1 year. So we are super proud of them. They did an amazing job, but this just goes to show when you put together what we're giving you and what the teachers are doing in the classroom, these kids are getting some really great money skills even after just 1 year. So this is just an example for you. This is grade 3. So this is what we go over. So we start with a grade 2 review. We would love for everyone to be using this from grade 1 through grade 5, but we don't want you to walk into grade 3 and we go, here's all this vocabulary, thinking that you've already had it before, and maybe they haven't heard of it before. So we give you a grade 2 review, which is basically the vocabulary words. What did we talk about in grade 2? Because we don't want them to be like, all these new, word or all these words that we gave you the year before. We want you to have them. And then these are the lessons. There are 8 lessons in each grade level. And they're going to cover each of the standards that is required in Nevada for each of these grade levels. So as you see here, we talk about earning money, spending, credit, debit cards, and then we get into budgeting. And we broke this way down: budgeting, fixed expenses, variable expenses, periodic expenses. Then we put them all together. By the time they leave 3rd grade, they are going to have a very good understanding of how to budget. And then we talk about personal information, getting online, things that you shouldn't do, things you shouldn't share. That was something Nevada said, hey, they should probably understand what they should do. I think that's pretty early, but that's how we do that. And then we do a whole review so that before you go and do the post-test, you go back all over those things again. And then we just gave you just kind of a thing here so that you can kind of see how we broke that down. So this would be that last lesson there. We put the all 3 together, a little bit of math, all the things there, and vocabulary, practice. You can do that in your classroom. You can send it home. However you want to choose to use those, you can do those. So what I'm going to do now is, and are there any questions at all before I get into it?
So far we have, how do I sign up for next year?
Okay, so for next year, if you go to the website, which is openbest.org, you can go to the free one if you want to just do it yourself. If you would like to work with me personally, or if you think, hey, this is awesome and I would like to work with you, and maybe there's a couple other teachers, you can email me directly, karina@andson.org, and I will work with you to get you anything and everything that you need to get this program rolling for you. And I'll have that again at the end too. And so let me show you here. This is, so what we do every year at the end with our 5 schools that we work with is ask, how can we make this better? And when we went through COVID, it was just basically a teacher's guide. And I had all the links in there, and here's that, here's this. And what we heard back from before we started last year was the teacher said, you know, it'd be really great if you could put this into a presentation so that all I have to do is just play it right off of that. Because now we're back in the classrooms, right? Totally understandable. And I rushed and I got it done. And so this is what came from it. So when you go to this, you're going to get your Google Drive. This is going to be in there now. It's not on the free version yet, but it will be too. So we're getting ready to launch that. We just haven't gotten there yet. So it will be on there probably August or so. So don't fret, it will be there. But each lesson is exactly laid out the same way. So once you do one lesson and you pull it up the next time, your students are going to recognize, hey, we're getting into the money. We're going to start talking about money again. So let me show you what this looks like. So this is the one that I was talking about, budget and the 3 types of expenses. This is lesson 7 in grade 3. What I do here, this is more for your information. I put all of your standards right here on this slide. So as you see here, Jumpstart, CEE, Nevada, Common Core, everything is on here. Now, as you see, Jumpstart and CEE are still separate. Again, another update that I have to do over my summer months. I'll get those updated for you. So don't fret, that will be updated. I keep checking those every year because as we know, it's just a moving target on everything. Oh, they added this, or oh, they changed that. That's just kind of how this goes. But on each slide for each lesson, I put everything on there. So you know exactly what you're teaching and what it covers. So again, we said, hey, let's review. We like to put little memes in here, something fun. The kids will be like, oh, that's funny. You know, just something to catch their attention. And we're going to talk about, what did we talk about last time? Well, we talked about, budget. So this will take you to the word wall. Oh, this is going to open another screen. Oh, goodness. I'm having a lot of fun with this today. Okay, so what this is going to do is take you back to the previous lesson, and it's going to take you to the word wall. When we had our first slides, there was like a little funny thing to go, word wall, and the kids would always know when that came on that that's what it was for. I apologize, it's just taking just a second here. And again, this is another little slideshow, but each time you click on it, boom, it takes it, opens up, you're ready to go. Click your slide, show. Word wall, previous one. We're going to go back and review the vocabulary. These are like little flip cards. So remember what we talked about. One of the Nevada standards is wants and needs. What is a want? Things that are nice to have, but you don't need it to survive. I mean, I kind of need my Starbucks, but needs, right? Something you must have to survive. So this is just an example of that. And those are all, whoops, okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. There we go, I'm back. Thank you guys. All right, so that's what those look like, and it's gonna be the same. So we're gonna review that. And then when you're, I think that skipped there, okay. Oh, no. Okay, so now you got your lesson 7, apologize. So that was an introductory video. It's already embedded. You just click on it and go. Now you're gonna do this lessons. And it looked exactly the same. You're gonna flip through, you can make it a game. Who wants to guess? 2 teams, who wants to guess? Make it as fun as you want. So again, now we're gonna put all the expenses together. We've talked about it. Remember what they were. We just went over the vocabulary. It's already embedded. You just click and play. Everything is on here. Again, another video that she talks about the different expenses. These are actually our videos that we made on our first version in 2018. We just clip them in. We would love to have the budget to make our own videos again. That hasn't happened yet, but we keep hopeful. And then here we just kind of take everything that we've done, and then you do a true or false. Again, if you want to make a game out of it, do what you want. It's better to just spend your money without a budget. You know, eating out is an example of a variable expense. So just going through all of these things. Now it's your turn to practice. So here's where this will be. We can give you the paper copy. If you want us to print those out and bring those to you, again, if you're working with us, we're more than happy to get those printed for you and bring those to you. But if you're working on the computers now and you're going through those, you would just simply click here, another window, and you're just going to make a copy for yourself. It's hopefully making a copy. There we go. There we go. And it's loading. I promise it's loading. So this will, let me see if I can I zoom in? No, I can't zoom. I don't know what it's doing here. Okay, so what you see here is on the left-hand side, I've got an English version and I have a Spanish version. So especially if you've got the multilingual, you know, learning English, it might be really good to use this version because they can get help with that, and they have it in both languages. Or if you're sending it home and maybe their parents, you know, want to work with them on this, maybe the Spanish version would be helpful for them here. So same thing that you saw here, you know, drop and drag. So that's going to be more. So you can see here, you're just going to drop and drag. So variable spends would be a birthday gift. No, I think that's a periodic. That's not going to happen all the time, right? So they're going to drag and drop, and then they're just going to type it in here. So they might have to have a piece of paper to do the little bit of math here and add all that stuff up, but when you do it online, but then when you have the paper version, you can do that. But here again, you're looking at, you know, fixed, periodic, variable, and you've gone over each one separately, and now you're putting them all together. We try not to put too many. We don't want to get carried away. We don't want to make this math heavy. It's not like trying to tax your brain. We really want them to get the concept. You've got different expenses within a budget, and you want to make sure that you're putting the most important ones and thinking about where it is that you're putting things. And so this would be the version here is the online one that's in there. But if you want printed, then you would contact us and we would have someone take care of that for you, getting that printed for you. So that is essentially what a full lesson looks like. Depending on the grade level, it could be anywhere from 40 minutes to, you know, an hour, depending on how in depth you get. We really, you know, are talking more about, you know, having those conversations, right? Talking about money, because it's a very personal thing. And even for kids, it's very personal. And so having those conversations, wants and needs, everybody thinks about it differently. And so we really are giving you the tools here and then allowing you to have those conversations and build those things within your classroom based on your students. As I know, every class that you get is different. Every student that you get is different. And so being able to be open about it and having them realize that you should be okay about talking about money. It's not something that's bad to talk about money. And just having, here we go again. I don't know why it does that. I'm not clicking on the lesson. Okay, I don't know if anybody has any advice on that one, but so maybe, there we go. I got there. Okay, so that's essentially the lessons. There's 8 of them. Again, if you would be interested in this, we have the free version that's going to be online. When you get the free version, you will have basically like a Google form that will be your pre and post test. And so then you'll collect that data and you'll collect your pre and post test and you'll handle all of that. You can print the PDF version of the worksheets on your own, or you can use the virtual on your own, but it'll be completely independent for you to do. If you are interested in working with us, and really the only perks for that is that, you know, of course, we'll print everything in pretty color for you to use in your classroom for the kids. We'll collect all of your pre and post test data. And that also helps us on our end too, because then we can go to our funders and say, look at what an amazing job our teachers are doing out there and the kids are doing and the impact that we're making. Again, we're a pretty small nonprofit. We're trying to make a big difference. And it's only by working with our partners, which of course is you all, just showing what a great job you guys are doing, that we're able to continue to do this. And we, right now, everything is free. We don't ask anything from anyone. We're trying to just offer that out there for free because we know this is one more thing that they're asking for you guys to do. And you have to fit it into your schedule somehow, some way. And so for us, it was just say, how can we make your job easier while still providing an amazing life skill that, of course, I wish that they had taught me when I was in school, even in middle school, even in high school. I didn't get those skills. And it would have been really, really helpful when I went out into the real world and said, credit card, free money. No, that's not what that's about. So that's what we have to offer. We would love for anyone to join us. We think it's great. Our schools are amazing. Our teachers are amazing. And we know that it's just one more thing they're asking you to do, but it's a great life skill that we all need. And another thing I'll mention is that we do have some great volunteers. We work with Chase Bank, First Foundation Bank, I can't even remember, but they want to come out. They want to work with you. So like, if you're sitting around, you're like, man, I'd like to sit down for an hour. They would love to come out and teach a lesson in your classroom as well. So if you work with us, we are more than happy to hook you up with a volunteer to come out and teach in your classroom, especially if it's a lesson. My favorite one that I get a lot of questions on is the compound interest lesson in 5th grade. A lot of people are like, I kind of know what it is, but teaching it is like a whole nother thing. And our bank people would be amazing at teaching that lesson, right? Because they completely understand what that is and how to teach that. So we do have some great partners that are more than willing. And even if you are doing the free version and you're just like, I would love to have someone come out, you can always email me and I will send someone out to teach one of the lessons for you. So that's essentially what I have. Is there any, I probably went really, really fast there. But are there any questions, any comments, anything at all?
As of the last question, I do not see a question. I do see a comment. Jody Fry says, I use mykidsbank.org in 5th for them to see the interest.
Oh, very good.
Food for thought.
Yeah, very good thought. Very good. Yeah, interest is a really difficult one to teach because, it's like you can earn it and then you can pay it. And that concept is really difficult. And, going back to teaching standards, Nevada standards are very different from the national standards. And I apologize, I was going to go back to that. So national standards only have certain benchmarks. So kindergarten, 4th grade, 8th grade, 12th grade. And of course, Nevada standards are 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th through 8th, right? So trying to mesh those together is rather difficult because a 3rd grade standard for Nevada might be a kinder standard in nationals. And so a lot of times you'll see on our lessons, it might say, oh, this is a 4th grade standard for a 5th grade lesson, a national standard, right? A 4th grade national standard for a 5th grade standard for Nevada. The reason being there are no 5th grade standards nationally. There's only 4th grade, and then it jumps to 8th grade. So trying to find those balances. So when you look at the national standard and you're like, why in the world is she putting a 8th grade standard in 5th grade? Well, probably because we're probably hitting a portion of that, but don't worry so much about that. The important thing is, of course, for us is making sure that we're hitting our Nevada standards here. But it is very, very difficult because they're not all on the same page as far as what level should you understand things. Sometimes I look at things, that they have in their 8th grade level, and I'm like, that's a little bit, above. Maybe we should be teaching that in high school, but that's what they have for 8th grade level. So when you see those and you see the national standards and it doesn't seem like it meshes very well, it probably looks a little strange. But if you were to look them up and you were to see the national standard, that we have on there, and the Nevada standard, you'll probably understand why they look a little bit strange like that, because they don't have a 5th grade standard. They don't have a 3rd grade standard. They only have a 4th grade standard, or they only have a kinder. So when you take a look at those, don't worry so much about the national, because you're like, what is this lady doing? It's just because they don't have those. So I hope that kind of clears a little bit of that up when you take a look at those and you see the different grade levels on the national. So any other comments, questions? I hope you guys sign up and join us, or email me directly. I would love to have some more schools on board, even just individual grade levels. Feedback is super important. For, like I said, I go back every year and make improvements, make changes, because we want this to work for you. Again, it's absolutely free. Even if you work through us, it's absolutely free. We just do the work for you so that you don't have to do any more work. It's just making it easy for you. Yeah, it's just giving you free lessons ready to go.
All right. Yes, there is. Okay. With that being said, I'm gonna stop the recording.